is our weekly look at some of the biggest things that have happened this week in the world of men's lifestyle, including updates from our very own website and magazine. So my name is Tom, and I'm the digital director of Esquire Middle East, and as per usual, I am joined by a very special guest. After all, what would a podcast be without a co-host? That would be essentially listening to an audiobook, and I haven't written an audiobook yet. But one day I will write an audiobook. I don't know what the title will be, but I do know that it will be an audible tour de force. However, until that happens, we'll all have to settle with Matthew Baxter-Priest as the co-host. He is the editor-in-chief of Esquire Middle East.
I feel that my introduction is getting less grand every week, but I am going to open up to the audience for suggestions of Tom's book. If you do release an audiobook, I would personally recommend Drowning Out the Sounds of My Life, because that is my experience.
Is that going to be a romantic fiction? Because that's kind of the genre I'm going in.
I'm not involved, am I?
You're not.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So let me give you a brief summary of what this podcast is actually all about. First, we give you an audible roundup of what's crossed our desks this week. So this is where you hear everything from fashion, lifestyle, cars, tech, culture, everything in between. Next, we go on to something a little bit meatier, so generally something that has appeared in this month's magazine, which you can pick up on shelves right now. And last but not least, we close out the show with an interview. In this case, I am talking to Mr. Riccardo Giraudi. Is that right? Italian?
Giraudi.
Giraudi from Beef Bar. And let me tell you, Matt, what this man doesn't know about meat can fit on one of those small napkins they serve with bar snacks.
Fair enough. The man knows a lot about meat.
This man knows a lot about meat.
He knows a lot about restaurants, actually, but that's something we can get into in a little bit.
Yes.
I believe he was the former GM of Zuma, potentially. You'll tell me more later when we get on.
He will tell us himself.
Oh, there you go.
So, enough of that. Let's start the show. So I have a bit of exciting news, Matt. Deadpool 2.
Yes.
It comes out on the 19th of May, and it looks rather interesting. And as you know, I actually like superhero movies and Marvel films. This one's a little bit different, so I think you might find it interesting as well. I
can happily say, and regular regular listeners and viewers of the show will know that I am not a Marvel fan, but I actually have been. Actually, of the Marvel films that I've seen in the last few years, Deadpool is probably the one I've enjoyed. Looking forward to Deadpool 2. Is it going to be Deadpool 2 European Vacation? Like all sequels, it follows the pattern of let's just make exactly the same film, just in Europe, because that's crazy.
But I think in superhero films that they twist that genre because they generally travel a lot. In spy films do this the same way. They don't just go to a different location. What they do is they add characters.
Yeah.
So you'll have
the crazy European.
In this case, this actually follows suit. You have the first film, which is the origin story. This is about how the superhero became super, or in this case, anti-hero, because Deadpool is kind of a bad guy, but he's also a good guy. The second one, they add a gang. He has a crew.
Okay. Bigger budget, more money for actors.
More money for actors. In this case, it is the X-Force.
Strong, like the X-Men.
But not.
Fine. And I'm sure they make X-Men-based jokes about that.
100%.
Fine.
So, film facts. The writers are the same as the original,
cool.
Rhett Reese and Wernick.
Yeah, and I believe Ryan Reynolds is actually producing it as well, or co-producing it with them and the writing team.
But the interesting thing is John Wick is... The director of John Wick, David Leitch, he is taking care of this. And John Wick was an excellent film.
I do like John Wick. And John Wick 2.
They filmed the entire film.
Wow.
This is where we're at.
Wow.
By using code words in the script so that no one actually knew what was going on.
I don't understand that at all.
So when they gave the script to the actors, one would read the script, and then be able to tell people what happens in the film. But they used code words in the script that they only changed on the day.
Oh wow! That's like elite level security.
So it would be like in the script, maybe Deadpool fights X, blue
X-Vision,
blue monkey,
X-Force.
No, well that's in the
There's
film.
A blue monkey?
Yes. He's part of the X-Force.
Fair enough.
And then obviously when they got to the stage, they'd go, "Oh, we're fighting Deadpool, not Blue Monkey." I'm sure it's a bit more elevated than that. That's just an example.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds Was this film? Were they worried that spoilers would get out and ruin everything? I mean, this sounds like a real over-the-top precaution to try avoid spoilers for a film that, while successful Deadpool 1 was, it's not like it's the return of Star Wars or the remake of, I don't know, Indiana Jones, like Temple of Doom or something. Wow, Raiders, let's be honest.
Apparently, for them, it obviously is.
Deadpool 2, European Vacation.
So, more importantly, this has been a very good month for Josh Brolin, as he obviously stars as Cable in Deadpool 2,
cool,
and also as Thanos in Avengers.
Fair enough.
Which it opened in China, by the way.
Yeah.
Coming back to what we were discussing last week about Avengers, it opened in China, 200 million there. That film has made a lot of money. So now Josh Brolin going to make more money.
So Josh Brolin got that mad comic book money.
Yeah. Considering he's not really appeared in a comic book film before, I think now, when Deadpool 2 opens, he'll have like the highest grossing movie ever under his belt, and the highest grossing rated R movie ever under his belt. A large belt Brolin must now wear.
He must. I really hope he takes that money and like just buries it into like some kind of art house passion project.
Yeah, maybe he just likes making films that a lot of people watch.
I won't watch it.
Unlike Shia LaBeouf.
Burn.
Yep, that's my Deadpool news.
Cool. I have more regionally based news. Well, kind of regionally based news, but it is the football season has just finished. In leagues in Europe, there's still the Champions League final, little matter of that to play, and a couple of cup finals going on. But the main news for us in the Middle East here is that Liverpool's Egyptian superstar Mohamed Salah has won the Golden Boot in the Premier League, which means that he scored more goals than anyone else in the Premier League. And he's been awarded Premier League Player of the Season and Premier League the Writers' Player of the Season, which means that's voted for by two different awards, one voted for by managers and players, one voted for by the press. Unequivocally Player of the Year in the UK, in the Premier League. He is an Arab man. He's Egyptian.
I imagine in Egypt they celebrated a little bit over this.
Oh, they went absolutely bananas, especially when him and his Liverpool team were in the semi-finals of the Champions League against Roma, and he scored in the second leg there to ensure the qualification to the Champions League final, which plays later this month. It is a huge, huge year for him. Not a lot was expected from him. I mean, he signed for Liverpool from AS Roma in Italy for about £34 million, which is a big chunk of cash for someone who previously hadn't done that well in the Premiership and hadn't really been given the chance when he was at Chelsea. Had a couple of great years at Roma, came to Liverpool, and no one expected this. He's basically been outscored by only one player in this entire Football League season, and that is Tom?
Ronaldo.
No, the other one.
Mario.
Yeah, I'm going to go Lionel Messi. So Lionel Messi has scored a couple more goals than Mohamed Salah this year. The guy is on fire, and Egypt are in the World Cup starting in Russia next month.
I'm not a football fan.
No,
so
explain
to me what makes him such a good player. Why is he better than another guy who kicks a ball?
I mean, look, if you're going to be basing it purely on goals scored, he scores more goals than others.
Fair enough.
The difference is, Lionel Messi is generally considered one of the world's greatest players ever played, if not the greatest player ever to play, based on stats and figures that he's got. But when you watch them, the differences with Salah is, I don't know, it's a breakaway from that duopoly of Ronaldo or Messi, who's the best. Every year for the past 8 years, one of them has won the Golden Boot, the Golden Ball, the Player of the Year. This is he's 25 years old. He's Egyptian. It's refreshing. It's come a bit out of the blue, like when Jamie Vardy was scoring all the goals for Leicester and everything was about him. With Salah, the main thing is going to be whether this is kind of one guy hitting the form of his career. He can't go wrong at the moment. Every shot seems to go in. He's so quick that he just burns defenders up when he's running at them. He's always in the right place. Is it just a form thing, or can he roll on till next year? Can he lead Egypt to an impressive run in the World Cup? I was speaking to a couple of footballers a couple of weeks ago, including World Cup winners Christian Carambo, Marco Amelia, and they even tipped Mohamed Salah to be not the breakouts. Well, I suppose the breakout star for the World Cup, but now he's writing headlines globally. So I don't know how breakout the news is that he's really good at football. Can he carry Egypt past the group stage into the later rounds of the World Cup, Tom? I hope so. I hope so. It'll be a great story. So congratulations to him. And best of luck when Liverpool play Real Madrid in the Champions League final. I support neither team. So, let the best team win.
It's all football to me.
It's all football to you. Fair enough, Tom.
Right. So from the world of men and women kicking balls to space alien news.
I like space alien news.
So, there's a new theory that says that what is essentially, I'll just break it down. Octopuses or octopi, they could be aliens.
Sorry, what?
So essentially, there's new research. I'm gonna make some quotes out of this research.
He is doing the air quotes for those not actually watching on the video.
That essentially says that octopuses come from imported genes. So now let's kind of unpack that.
Levi's?
Like genotypes.
Genes with a G.
Although imported Levi's is you can definitely get those from Dubai Mall, Mall of the Emirates. In this case, it's genotypes. So what they're saying is, I want to say octopuses.
Octopi.
But I don't like.
I think we go Greek with it.
Octopus has genes that are unlike anything else. And so what this theory suggests is that way back when we were just primordial ooze, like a big soup, a gene soup, this octopus, an octopus riding a comet, landed on Earth, or its genes did, and then it obviously made more octopi, and yeah, octopuses, aliens. Who knew?
This is some fantastic research that you've put in here.
It's called, it's a theory known as panspermia.
One more time for Big Fudge.
Panspermia, which argues that life on Earth was seeded by biological material transported from elsewhere in the universe. Hence the octopus. The humble octopus.
So the humble octopus was traveling through space and he left his genes somewhere, and now aliens.
Well, essentially, it's down to the octopuses. One octopus is single, but so it is octopuses. Nervous system, as well as its camera-like eyes, its flexibility, and its camouflage abilities, which appear nowhere else.
I like the idea that if you're in a lab and you're studying this, and you've come to a conclusion, and the conclusion of all the research is, I don't know, aliens.
Yeah.
Fair, I'll use it.
So yeah, but I didn't see. Potentially, this could be used as a plot device in a future X-Files.
Or Marvel films. Deadpool 3, Space Genes.
Fair.
Yeah, like European Vacation, but better. Bigger crew, add more characters.
Octopus.
Yeah. Add an octopus character.
Octopi.
Yeah. Nathan the Octopus, something like, yeah.
We were talking about World Cup earlier. Remember the octopus that picked all the winners for the World Cup?
Yeah.
I think
what was his name?
That's why when you said Nathan, I thought you were referencing that.
No. Oh, come to me. I'll Google it.
Yeah, but also, octopus are very smart.
Are they?
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
Well, they're aliens.
Yeah.
So,
But then
superior extraterrestrial beings.
Also delicious.
I mean, that's open for negotiation.
But it's dilemma, though, isn't it?
I'm going for Japanese food tonight, Tom.
Are you?
Yeah. Delicious.
Going tomorrow night.
Who knows? I have more news for you, Tom, that takes us awkwardly away from space aliens and genes.
And Japanese food.
And Japanese food. And a bit more relevant, actually. Rolls-Royce, Tom. What do you know about Rolls-Royce?
They're big cars that cost an awful lot of money and are doing incredibly well with regards to selling all those big cars at an expensive price.
Yeah, but that's all I've got. No, basically, Rolls-Royce have released a new SUV.
An SUV?
Yeah.
They don't make SUVs.
Yeah,
they
suburban utility vehicle. Rolls-Royce. They've jumped on the bandwagon as of pretty much every car in the car manufacturer in the last, 5 years.
Well, there's the Lamborghini Urus.
Urus?
There's the Maserati Levante.
Yeah.
The original was obviously the Porsche Cayenne. That was the OG.
Yeah.
Jaguar F-Type.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. It's something type.
And the Alfa Romeo Stelvio.
The Bentley Bentayga.
Correct.
And now the Rolls-Royce...
The Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
Jamie Cullinan. Isn't that a singer?
Cullinan.
What does Cullinan mean?
Cullinan is actually named after the largest diamond ever discovered, Tom. Of course it is. Which, incidentally, in case you're wondering, is 3,106.75 carats.
So this is markedly different, not just in the fact that it's an SUV, but obviously Rolls-Royce, I guess previously, always named their cars after ethereal spirits.
Yep.
So you had the Wraith.
Had the Wraith.
The Ghost.
Yep.
I was at the launch of the Dawn, and they kind of said it was based off of like an ethereal spirit called Dawn, but I would say it was the Sunrise. But yeah, okay, we'll give it them. But the Diamond is a physical.
Yeah, it's an interesting name. I'm not going to lie to you on that one. But it's what I think is more interesting is the fact that you have the in automotive, it's one of the world's most luxury brands. Those cars are big, limousine type, silent, beautiful pieces of engineering, and they're releasing an SUV, which hopefully they'll kind of transfer all the elements of the brand into that SUV. I don't know. I haven't been in one yet.
Well, I have. I watched I watched the trailer because they actually released this car over with 12 different videos. One of them actually in Dubai. They actually brought it here to test its dune bashing off-road capabilities and to test it in the heat.
So they took a Rolls-Royce off-road.
The Rolls-Royce Cullinan off-road, and there's a video of it. Why don't we can just get that to play right now if you're watching us.
If not, quickly go online and watch this.
Just type in Rolls-Royce Cullinan UAE, or you can go to our website where we've got it too, which is esquireme.com.
Do that one.
But one of the other cool things it has there's basically a leisure pod, which is like an attachment, a bit like Thunderbird 2. You get different attachments, right? And so what you can get is if you buy a Cullinan, you can get these different modules. One of them is an Explorer module. So when you open up the boot, there are 2 seats that let you look out. So if you're on safari, and also it comes with a cocktail bar and table.
Nice. So when you take your Rolls-Royce on safari, you can have a cocktail sundowner.
Yeah. Mocktail.
A mocktail of your favorite non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. And you can watch the lions and the tigers and stuff.
I actually have some stats here for you, Tom.
Stats?
Well, stats. The engine will be a 6.75 twin-turbo V12.
It sounds big and quick.
Whoa. I believe that's the correct term.
That's how Jeremy Clarkson would respond.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a big bloody engine.
Exactly. It's new all-wheel drive and a new all-wheel steer system. So for those who know about cars, whoa.
Well, what that means is all of the wheels steer.
And will drive.
Yeah.
Good.
Drive train.
They're releasing a train?
Potentially.
Look, at this point, who knows?
They've done an SUV. Why not the next step?
Yeah.
Train. Rolls-Royce train. I bet that Rolls-Royce makes train engines, let's be honest.
Fair enough. But for now, they're making the Rolls-Royce Cullinan.
Yes.
Q.
You heard it here first. Didn't. Anyway, that's the news. Do you have any more news?
Nope.
Cool. Let's move on swiftly. So, what are we talking about today, Matt? What do you want to discuss?
Today, Tom, I want to tell you, well, in our middle section, we always look at something with a bit more meat to it, a discussion point that we normally are led by the current month's Esquire magazine. So in this month of Esquire Middle East, May 2018.
Who's on the cover?
The cover is a rather fetching Luke Evans, the Welsh A-list actor.
I was going to say, where's he from? But you mentioned Welsh.
Well, you're Welsh, so I assumed that Welsh people always mention Welsh things all the time. The cover, if you're looking at us on video, is this one. If you're not, it's a fetching light blue with Luke Evans looking rather handsome, dressed in summer suiting. But that's not who we're talking about today. We are talking about a compilation that we do annually. It's called our Esquire's Best Dressed Men of the Gulf.
Best Dressed Men of the Gulf.
2018, the class of.
Okay, so in order to be eligible,
Yes.
you A, be a man.
Correct.
2, be dressed.
Yes, this is true.
3, be dressed better than another man.
No, not necessarily.
Well, best dressed.
Yes, but it's more a case
It's
of
not just
no, it's a recurring list. It's
men of the Gulf, is it?
It's the idea of we highlight as part of kind of the brand ethos. What we do is we highlight successful and aspirational men in the region throughout all the content that we do. This one is specifically based on their style and their personal style and their personal way of dressing. So it's random picking of a long list that we have provided to us of hundreds of men, and we look down and we try filter it down to men that we haven't featured before, men that we admire their dress sense and style, and men that kind of show their personality through what they wear.
Okay, so it's not about like wearing what is currently on runways.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Some men may be inspired by that. Other men might be inspired by more classic things. It's mainly about how to show your personality through what you wear. And being confident in that. A lot of the guys so this year we've selected 16 men. The selection has been done by our fashion editor and our fashion team. So our fashion editor Daniel Higgins, and our fashion team. Again, it's a bit of a taxing job for them to kind of narrow down to these 16 guys. But what is great about this issue is this edition is that we have 16 men from 14 different countries.
14. What about the other 2? They don't have a country?
No, they're from the same countries. So there are 2 Brits and 2 Germans in here.
Yeah.
But then we're looking at men from Canada, Lebanon, the UK, the Sudan, Egypt, India. What do we got here? Belgium, Congo, the UAE. Lots of people. A very mixture of people from very mixture of age ranges, very mixture of aesthetics, mixture of professions, designations, if you will.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
I always like a fun fact.
So, I'm going to flip to this page.
Okay.
In the magazine.
It doesn't really help on an audio medium.
Okay, so this man, Sam Atherton.
Sure.
He's Welsh.
Yeah, fine. I'm sure he's Welsh.
He is Welsh.
So Sam Atherton is one of the guys that you pointed out. He is a brand consultant, a retail brand consultant. He is, the aesthetic is a bit more laid back, a bit more streetwear. Kind of a mix and chooses what he wants to suit his personality on the time at the day. It's not what I would wear, but I can look at that man and think, that man puts himself together rather well.
Interesting story. Another one.
If this is about another Welsh person,
it's not. It's about Sam. This guy Sam.
Right.
Weirdly, did not know this until earlier this year. We had a summer job together in the year 2005.
Really? So is this a nepotistic inclusion in the list?
I didn't pick this. I didn't.
This
pick
is
it
completely
at all.
happenstance.
This is completely happenstance. We're on the shoot, and he said, "Do I know you?" And I said, "Definitely not. I never forget a face, but I do forget a name, but never a face." And then we kind of were looking at each other, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, did you work in that place that summer?" And then he went like, "Yeah," and we went, "Oh."
I hope he was more specific because I once worked in a place one summer as well.
I'm being less specific for the
I'm aware of that. But basically, what is apart from aesthetically, this is a very nice looking feature. It's a very important part of what we do at Esquire, simply because it's a way of self-expression. It's a way of people combining their love of aesthetics, their love of clothing, their love of creativity, and a way of demonstrating it on a day-to-day basis. Yes, we're celebrating them here in a magazine, but it's more about the appreciation of self-aesthetics and presentation and expression that many men have today. And that's the way these men choose to express their art almost, if you will.
But Matt.
Yes.
Let's say I'm interested, but let's say I can't find a copy of the magazine. What can I do?
Oh, well, there is a full listing of these guys on our website, which is esquireme.com.
Great.
And if you're even too lazy to do that, you just open your Instagram app, you go to Esquire Middle East.
Esquire Middle East, you say?
That's the one. That's Esquire Middle East. Say it 3 times. It's more memorable, I think.
Esquire Middle East, Esquire Middle East, Esquire Middle East.
And then Beetlejuice shows up. But if you go onto that, there's literally...
We show up.
We show up. God, please don't do that. I would be knackered.
To
Always
provide just some nice and offensive chat.
Yeah, but imagine if we had to do that in multiple places. It's not enough of us to go around, Tom.
Fair. We could just send them like an Instagram
Although
story.
if my mum did that, she would really enjoy a chat with me and you.
Fair.
I haven't called her in a while.
I enjoy talking to your mum as well.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady. Lovely lady.
I think you were getting at they're all on Instagram. I think that was the roundabout way of getting to that.
Yeah, look, they're all on Instagram. They're all on our Instagram feed, so you can literally look at them at one glance and tell us what you think about our selection. Or, as most people do, tell us that it's a terrible selection, and then we respond saying, "Why do you think it's a terrible selection?" And they say, "Because I should have been on the list," which is good. I like the fact that people want to be on this list. I like the fact that people have conflicting ideas about what makes a trendy person or what makes fashion work for them. That's the entire purpose of this, is to start discussion. If you don't think our selection is good enough, we want to hear from you. You know, if you think we've missed out some absolutely vital people in the community, in the Gulf where we circulate, then absolutely, we'd love to hear from you. We still defend these guys because these guys are sharp dressers. We didn't dress them in the looks. They've all dressed themselves with clothes that they
dress themselves. I mean, that's good.
Well, no, that's an important thing to mention.
It is, because if a man who can't dress themselves, it would just be a naked man.
And he would not be best dressed,
Because he wouldn't be dressed.
No, but it's an important thing to mention because a lot of times in magazine photo shoots, teams of stylists will style their hair or style their clothes or whatever. And this is not what this thing's about. This is about themselves celebrating themselves and not our team of highly skilled stylists going to dress people.
Fair.
Which I believe they did today with me, Thomas.
What, highly skilled stylists?
Okay, maybe they're not that highly skilled. No, I dress myself like a grown man.
See? Gotta be dressed.
I am an adult, damn it.
Right, let's talk to another adult. Why don't we move on to that section?
Sure. I believe
we gotta move on. We gotta move on to that section.
I believe in the third part of this series, the third part of the show involves us talking to a man at his best or a woman at her best. But this week it is a man. And you took the reins for this one this week. So who are we talking to this week, Tom?
We're about to spend a few minutes talking to one Mr. Riccardo Giraudi.
Okay.
That was a good accent.
Your Italian is a perfetto.
Giraudi. You've got to shake your hand.
Yeah, but not on an audio medium, Tom.
But on the video medium, you can.
Okay. Wave at the
Imagine
camera.
me saying this and shaking my hand. Giraudi.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
From Beef Bar. Have you been to Beef Bar?
I have been to Beef Bar.
What did you have?
Are you saying that it is the Beef Bar at near DIFC in the Alpha Tane Currency House building?
Alpha Tan.
Alpha Tane Currency House building.
Yes, that's the very same one. So let's hear what he has to say.
So my name's Riccardo, and I'm the guy behind Beef Bar. Basically, I started Beef Bar in 2005, and this is our 7th outlet in the world. And the newest to date.
So then, there's a lot of steakhouses in the world.
I get that question every day.
So what makes this different?
I am not a steakhouse. This is Beef Bar. Okay, this is very important. Well, except the play on words, it's we have a different philosophy, completely different philosophy. Steakhouses are usually heavy, wooden, Americanized places where you have big, juicy steaks and a lot of big side dishes and something a bit stereotyped. But this is much more refined, much more French, much more Italian. It's reflecting also my heritage. It's a little bit I wouldn't say elegant, but with a little bit more sensitivity to it. The menus is completely different. It's devised into 2 main sections: small eats and large eats. Large eats, yes, of course, you still have your obvious steaks, and of course the steaks come from the best areas of the world. That's my family business. We source iconic farming from all over the world. But the real innovation, I would say, what makes us a little bit different is all the street food that we do. We have a big array of 24, 25 different recipes of street food, contrasting from the most affordable recipes in the world with the most exclusive ingredients from the world. And so this is what happens when you mix a Japanese Kobe beef and turn it into a shawarma or a burger or empanadas or tacos or gyoza. So, and it's also sharing style compared to other steakhouses. Again, the word comes up, but I'm more Japanese oriented in the way we serve, and we try to make the experience to be shareable and much more refined, I would say.
So then, why do you think I think there's been a large trend over the last couple of years people moving away from silver service, ultra fine dining towards a more of a sharing concept, a bit more relaxed. Why do you think that is?
Oh, you're seeing this in every side of many industries. You know, you look at Valentino. It was unimaginable 15 years ago that he would make sneakers, and Prada makes backpacks, and we make Kobe beef burgers. So it's the same mentality. You know, modern luxury has changed. Modern luxury has evolved. Millennials played a big role in this, and you know, internet changed the way we see things. We are all equal, and we need less to pretend to be someone who we're not. And we're going back to some roots, and the roots is substance, and this is what we are here for. You know, I'm a restaurant before being a party place, and I serve meat, and I'd rather people come for me for the produce than just having a good time. So this is what really the essence, and this is really what makes us different, I guess.
So let's talk about the produce. Kind of, what's your philosophy behind kind of sourcing it?
Well, I come from a family of meat importers, meat branders, meat traders. My family started this business more than 60 years ago, and in Europe we're the largest high-end importing company that is out there. So I was exposed to the best supplies from all over the world at a very young age. And so I was lucky enough to taste and to try and to have the time to go and look for the best producers, the best packers, the best farmers, and to learn. So it's a bit of a moment where I would use this restaurant where I could share my knowledge and pass it on to the consumer. And teaching them that, you know, marbling is great, and secondary cuts are amazing, and you know, there's not only strip loins and fillets in the animal, there's a lot of other things. So I see this more of a discovery concept for a lot of people.
Is it a challenge to get those ingredients here?
Yes, it was very difficult. For me to get the Kobe beef approved, I was the first one to get the Kobe beef approved. It took over a year. There's a lot of logistics, a lot of politics, a lot of sensitive subject because of the halal issue. We had to have everything halal, so it took a lot of time. And we did all of this just for one restaurant. This is unimaginable, the amount of work my team had to do. But I wanted beef bar in Dubai, so we had to do it.
So then let's talk about kind of the area. Obviously, we're in the IFC.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most, per square foot, most competitive places to open up in terms of kind of fine dining. We're not finding, but like this level of cuisine. So kind of why choose this place, and then how is the reception?
Let me tell you straight away. I was looking for a place in the IFC since 10 years. I said to my guys, we're never going to go to Dubai if I'm not in the IFC. Now, we're not in the gate village yet, but the bridge is opening in September. So the whole idea was, okay, let me get ready. I want a little terrace, I want a little garden, I want the bridge way. So I think that when everything is going to be finished and we're going to open for lunch, I think it's going to be one of the most beautiful spaces because of the architecture, the way it's done. I think it's going to breathe, and this is what you need in the FC. You need space to breathe, and this is one of the when I walked in the first time, I said, "Oh my God, this is such a difficult place." And then we studied it with the architects. We developed it. We cut it. We looked at it. We developed the terrace. We saw that this thing was coming up. We got information from the bridge, so we said, "Okay, then if you look at it that way, it's probably going to be one of the best locations in the IFC." So yes, it's going to be in steps. We did the first one, and then we're waiting for the lunch. And yes, the most competitive, but it's also where my customers are. You know, many people don't know the brand, but the few that do know it, it is very well known in a few small circle of groups, and those customers are around this area. So this is where I want it to be.
So how has the reception been?
Very good. Very good. It's my second time here, but I have my staff here who's keeping me informed daily, and the numbers have been growing up very well at night. We have a lot more to do because I want to open, you know, for brunch, for lunch. I want to do more events, more collaborations. We're going to do a lot of collaborations. I have a lot of crazy people from all over the world because, you know, doing what we do we are pretty original in our industry. You know, there's 2 or 3 players that are, I would say, daring, and we're one of them. And I want to make this place, you know, really buzz, and we'll have nice, fun surprises coming this way.
So I guess kind of this is number 2, number 3 in the world. Are there other beef bars?
Yes, we're 6 open and 6 in construction, so we have 12. Yeah.
So has there been any kind of challenges in setting up in Dubai in particular versus the other places that you kind of opened up?
The usual, except what I said to you, except the logistics on the meat, which was the hardest part. Small things like getting the alcohol license was a bit more complicated than usual. I didn't know how it works in a different way. Or getting some marbles in was a bit more difficult. And but you know, the usual hurdles. If you go to places like Beijing, you get a problem. If you go to places like even in Mexico, we have problems. I'm opening now in Luxembourg, we have problems. So you always have problems. But it wasn't more than usual. No, I wouldn't say.
So, kind of last question. What's one dish kind of on the menu that someone who comes here just kind of absolutely has to try?
Well, the dish that I prefer, because it's only here, it's simply the Kobe beef shawarma. We don't do it anywhere else, and we bake our own bread. We make our own Kobe beef little, you know, meat stack, and it's very small. It's 2.5 kilos because it's so precious. And we only serve it here with homemade bread, and it's warm and it's delicious. And when I tasted it last night, I fell in love literally with it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that is that. That was very interesting.
Yeah, look, it's a fascinating guy. I generally did consider him for our best dressed list, and I lobbied quite hard.
He's a snappy dresser. If you did watch along that interview, you'll no doubt see, like, the man knows. The man can dress himself.
Oh no, the man, and he's a delight. I pushed quite hard. Fashion director, very stringent, but maybe next year.
Anyway, we do hope you enjoyed the Esquire Man at His Best podcast. Remember, we have new episodes coming out weekly on Apple iTunes, SoundCloud, Pocket Casts, and more. And we also host every show on our website, esquireme.com, and obviously YouTube. You know that if you're watching us on YouTube.
Correct, and you should subscribe and follow all of them. Otherwise, Tom and I will come round to your house and just talk you to, not to death, but you know, to mild annoyance.
Yeah, we'll be irritating with our banter.
We can be irritating. Today we're just charming, damn right charming.
The Charming Men podcast.
2 charming men. We're working title.
Anyway, we'll see you next week.
See you later.